Hello, it's Jim Hutchins for the Jerusalem Connection Truth Report for this 5th of July, 2017. There's a very interesting article that came out from Israel Today. It's a Messianic magazine, Messianic website in Israel. It's entitled, Israel Recognizes Christian Zionism as a Strategic Asset. Christian Zionism. More and more, Israel views global and Bible-based support from Christians as a strategic asset in its struggle for survival. The annual Herzliya Conference is Israel's premier forum for security and diplomacy, and is regularly addressed by the nation's top political and military leaders. This year, it was addressed by two representatives of Christian Zionist movement. Dr. Jürgen Buehler, Executive Director of the International Christian Embassy in Jerusalem, and Dr. Jerry Johnson, President and CEO of the National Religious Broadcasters, were both invited to deliver keynote addresses. Buehler challenged his hosts, the Israelis, to think about the strategic opportunities that the evangelical world can offer to the state of Israel today and in the future. Dr. Johnson added, during his time at the podium, the Jewish people have been a blessing for Christianity. Christianity came out of Judaism. Freedom is an ultimate value in Christianity, and when you read the Hebrew Scriptures, you read about liberty, freedom, and the rule of law. Israel stands alone in this region in defense of liberty, freedom, and indeed the rule of law. Christian Zionist support of Israel among evangelicals, basically among evangelicals the world over. What do we mean by Christian Zionism? Zionism that Israelis adhere to is basically the desire, aspirations for the land as a realized hope for their homeland. Christian Zionism is different. I define Christian Zionism as the support of the modern state of Israel as a partial fulfillment of God's covenant promise to provide a national homeland for the Jewish people. God's covenant promise. That distinguishes it from other forms of Zionism. It's God's covenant promise to provide a national homeland for the Jewish people. It's partial because it anticipates their ultimate redemption, the Jews' ultimate redemption, and their possession of all the land that God has promised. And that goes from the Nile to the Euphrates. I've always felt that the promises of God, the decrees of God concerning Israel and the land, are the strongest argument that Israel has for its existence, number one, and it's certainly its possession of the land. It's not going to change. God didn't promise a two-state solution. He didn't promise a one-state solution with the Palestinians being that one state. He promised the land to the Jews, to the descendants of Abraham. He decreed that as an eternal promise. It will not be broken. And that's the truth.